Tonight there is a total lunar eclipse. It's also called the blood moon or hunter's moon. It's a supermoon, which means it's really close to the Earth, so it appears very large, and that's not unusual. There's always a series of supermoons each year. So depending on where you are in the world, it's occurring September 27th or the wee hours of the 28th at 2:47 a.m. Universal Time. That's 3:47 a.m. British Summer Time for us in the UK. Now, all eclipses are wild cards. That's the nature of them. They're inconsistent, they're stressful, they can expose hidden problems, they can be chaotic, and unexpected events can occur. And of course, this image is a solar eclipse, which we had a partial solar eclipse 2 weeks ago at the new moon. Here's the chart. It's set for London, British Summer Time, 3:50. And it's just Virgo rising. Now, it's such a stunning event, and it does last for quite a couple of hours. So if you are either going to wake up in the middle of the night, if you've never seen a lunar eclipse, it's a very powerful thing to watch, very interesting. And you can look at a lunar eclipse where you can't look at a solar one. The sun and moon are in cardinal signs. That's the sun is now in Libra. We've just had the autumn equinox, and the moon is in Aries. They are applying widely to a square. Is Pluto here in Capricorn? Venus is in a fixed sign, Leo, trining Uranus. I'm just giving you the highlights. And Mars is now in a mutable sign of Virgo, but it is conjunct Jupiter, and that exaggerates its energy. Mercury is important because Mercury is the ruler of Mars and Jupiter, and it's in Libra. It's retrograde, so it's moving back towards the sun. Okay, they're the highlights. The moon in Aries. The moon at the full moon is always opposite the sun, and in Aries, it's the first sign of the zodiac, initiation. So we always get a full moon every year in Aries. It's very close to the south node, that's why it's an eclipse. The moon in Aries is governed by Mars. And Mars, just 2 days back, has moved into Virgo. And Virgo is governed in turn by Mercury, which is where the sun is, and the sun is in turn governed by Venus. That's they all relate. Planets rule signs, and that's how they start to work together. Now, Mars in Virgo. It's at a right angle, a square. Here it is, Mars in Virgo, to Saturn, which has only just moved in to Sagittarius, and that happened the very same day virtually that Mercury went retrograde, which was on the 18th of September. Mars wants to move ahead. It wants to do things. It's action. It's our inner drive. And Saturn is the brakes. It's just completed that right angle. However, it's within orb. So it's still going to be energetically there until Mars moves further away. And then it can really come into operation. But Mars in Virgo, I happen to have Mars in Virgo, is very good at clearing and sorting the Virgo art of discrimination, what's important. But it's with Jupiter, and Jupiter's the antithesis of Virgo. Jupiter wants to exaggerate, make things bigger. So we could get obsessed, Mars, want to do lots of cleaning, is one practical way of using that energy, but also get hyper tense around tiny details and things that are going wrong. So watch out for that. Don't get caught in detail in small things that really don't matter. Because Mercury is retrograde at this time and it's moving close to the sun, Mercury, the messenger, also doesn't have clarity because of that. It's burnt by the rays of the sun, not literally, but metaphorically. And that's what's going on here. Mercury wants to communicate always, bring the messages to us, but it's not easy because of that closeness to the sun. Always at a lunar eclipse, we're advised to meditate. The same is true of the solar eclipse, to go within. So in the UK, most of us will be asleep. Not a bad thing. But you may want to, as I said, get up and watch because it's a stunning event. Venus. Venus governs the sun in Libra. Venus is actually rising in the sky at that time. I don't know if you'll see it. It's been very low in the horizon. But Venus is actually trining, making a positive connection to Uranus. It's just completed that, but it's still operating. You can say planets are in all for at least 8 degrees apart. And that is very tight. So Venus in Leo, creative energy. Leo is always creative. And super duper ideas, genius. Uranus is genius, high mind. Things that come out of the ether. It could also happen during the night, during sleep. I would advise you, if you don't already, to take a note of your dreams at this time. It can often bring important messages to you, both because of the Venus-Uranus connection and also Mercury-Sun connection. Anything else of note? Well, Mercury is also, as I've said, it is in a semi-sextile. It's one sign away from Jupiter. Therefore, Jupiter can bring wisdom and truth, and Mercury in the sign of the scales of justice. There could be good diplomacy that we may not be aware of that is going on at this time, apropos the situation in Europe and the huge crisis of refugees and immigrants. It's a powerful time, lunar eclipse, so I want you to be gentle with yourself through the night and through the next couple of days. There can be fear at an eclipse because they are times of darkness. In the literal sense, the moon or the sun is cast, one body casts a shadow over the other. The moon will disappear, it will go bright red. It's quite extraordinary to see that. So fear is the lowest vibration. The ego resists change because it's fear of the unknown. But with that Venus-Uranus trine, that's exciting, and that is about change. So it's important not to be caught in the Saturn energy at the moment, squaring Mars. Okay? It means often to plan things step by step rather than rush into something. But also take note of what other people are telling you. It's always important to listen to the messages that come from other people. And that can be what you notice in the news or what you notice, say, on Facebook or a movie that you see. But some message is trying to get through. So fear, to recognize there's either fear or love. An eclipse is also a spotlight shining on the pathway of your life. It flashes off, flashes on, it flashes off, and that's the solar eclipse energies specifically. It can bring hidden patterns to the surface. So I'm reminding you also of that partial solar eclipse that was at 20 degrees of Virgo, because that house is being activated at this time. So what have you shoved under the carpet? Will you be willing to accept the challenges being offered by the events that are occurring with these two eclipses? And are you willing to make the necessary changes in your life? Are you ready to let go of the past? With Venus and Mars, these are the lovers. These are the relationship signs. That the sun is now in relationship sign of Libra, who always wants to bring things together and integrate. So I'm Pam of Healing Stars. I offer coaching, and astrology combined with my coaching helps people go deep. I also offer workshops if you would like to find out more if you live in the UK. I have one at the end of October. I welcome you to join me. There are spaces. And also my webinars. I'm going to give a new webinar very soon. So please subscribe at healingstars.com.